Keep it locked on Hindsight Radio.
So I've gone over this a lot. Most of y'all have seen me go over this, right? Have you? Never? Never? Oh, you a newbie. Huh? You just seen the videos. Okay. All right. This is the oath you would take when you go get your passport. This is what they make you swear to. And it says, I declare under penalty of perjury all of the following. I am a citizen or non-citizen national of the United States and have not performed any of the acts listed under acts and condition on page 4 of the instructions of this application unless an explanatory statement is attached. So if you don't supply an explanatory statement, it's going to assume that you are a citizen or a non-citizen national of the United States. This is basically what this is saying to you. But when they give you the oath at the post office, which part do they read? Y'all remember when y'all took, who got a passport in here?
I have mine.
Right? They made you give an oath.
Yeah.
Right? Put your hand up. Right?
Yeah.
Which part did they read? Did they ever read this part? This is all the whole oath.
They didn't read that part right
They
there.
read this part.
They read that.
The statements made on this application are true and correct. That's all they asked you. They never read this to you, this first part, which is the most important part. So now they switched up the application. They took out the part of the acts and conditions. Because they said go to page 4. I have not performed any acts listed on the acts of condition on page 4 of the instruction of this application. So let's go to page 4. This page 4 is back here somewhere. Here's acts and conditions. This is the new one. And it says, if any of the below mentioned acts and conditions have been performed by or applied to the applicant, a supplementary explanatory statement under oath of affirmation by the applicant should be attached and made a part of this application. I changed the way I did. Y'all, whoever's been with me before and did it the other way, why did I change it and change it into an oath, like an affidavit form, a real affidavit form?
They took out used to be able to cross out the line?
No, that's not why I did it. It's because this says it need to be made under oath of affirmation by the applicant. Should be attached. So I put it in the affidavit form because now you're truly keeping to what the instructions of this application. Although the first word worked very well, this word works even better because now it says made under oath of affirmation. So now I created an affidavit in affidavit form, and then I just copy and paste it and put this in there, part of it. Why would you put this part in there? Why wouldn't you put it? Why would you put that there?
You don't put it, you have done it. Why would you
Right.
put it there?
He said it. Say it again.
You don't put it, you have done it.
Right. You're guilty. Because it's saying I have not been convicted of any of these things. I read this already in the affidavit. So all I did was copy and paste that and put it into the affidavit. Because they said here, if I have
Locked on Hindsight
done
Radio.
that, which I have. I don't have none of these problems. So I'm So imagine if you was armed with the knowledge that the feminine aspect is wisdom. So now you know what to look for in a wife, a woman who has wisdom. And I mean, look around us. Look around. There's not many of that going on. Wisdom. Everybody's chasing after the next fad or trend. You see, everybody's doing things that are not wise. Why? Because we come from a system that taught us not to be wise. They taught us that we needed their education system to go get a job. That's not wisdom. That's not wise, because that's not what God gave us. Remember, wisdom is worth more than gold, silver, and any riches you got. See, when they told the story of Solomon when he became king and God asked him what he wanted, he said wisdom. This here, it really opens your eyes up to why they took this out, so that you don't see the power of both man and woman. So they had to choose one. They chose one and put the other one down, and you need them together. See, that man, Solomon, knew he needed wisdom. He needed that feminine aspect of knowledge and understanding and compassion. All right, so but let me turn my camera on. What's going on? All right, so before I do that, remember yesterday I brought up the word black, right? And I have the dictionary. This is the dictionary. You can get this from Amazon. It costs about $70, $80. It's the 1828 American Dictionary of the English Language. This is Noah Webster's original dictionary. This is the dictionary he created. And he specifically, if you read it, you know, he has the story of him in the beginning of this book. His whole, if you could see that, I'm not good at pointing it at the camera. You see it. It tells his story, why he wrote this dictionary. And one of the reasons why he wrote it, because they started to change the meanings of words. And usually when I do a seminar, I bring this dictionary with me and I have somebody read it from the dictionary. So they don't think I'm making anything up. They read it right there in the book. So that word black, I kind of gave you an idea of what it meant, but we're going to read specifically what it means right out of the book. And it says black. Black and black, black, black spelled B-L-A-C, black spelled B-L-A-E-C, and black B-L-A-C-K, how we know it today. Pale, wan, livid. Black, blackian or black shean, B-L-A-C-I-A-N, to become pale, to turn white, to become black, to blacken. So they reversed the meaning of that word as they started printing new dictionaries. Remember, dictionaries way back when were volumes. They weren't just one huge book. They had one dictionary for one letter, and then went on to the B's, the C's. You know, back then, if you ever remember the encyclopedias way back in the day, the people used to run around, come around to the homes and try to sell you those encyclopedias, like the Encyclopedia Britannica. I know we had a set. And then here's another definition of the word American. All right. Before I go into that, what do you think the people who already been on my seminars and understand what I teach, you guys can sit back and not answer this question. I just want some of the new people. What do you think the word American means? Anybody, just open your mic, speak. Doesn't matter. Except for my veterans. No, don't worry about getting it wrong. I just want to know, see what ideas you have in your mind about what the word American means. Because sometimes these are things we don't really think about, but that very word is very important to your whole existence in this country. Somebody,
Eileen, I don't know, Eileen.
huh? Go ahead. What'd you say?
I said Eileen, I don't know, the Eileen, I don't know.
Eileen?
The
So,
islands, like the islands, when you go to the islands. I
American?
don't know, like the island. I don't know.
That's pointing to a geographical region. Somebody wrote in here, copper colored people found here by the Europeans born here in America. By the Europeans born here in America. That's half of it. She got that. Joyce said that in the chat. So here's what it actually says. A native of America. That means an American is someone who is native to America. Now, remember, Americans, you have North America, South America, and what's the other one? Central America, right? A native of America originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans. Then it says, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. So it even switched up who they would identify as American. And that was done very specifically to deny natives of their true nationality, and they conferred it on the settlers so that they can get the benefits of the lands and the rights to the lands that they had taken from the natives. See, that's why the word American is important, because American ties you to the land. So that means everyone in Mexico, everyone in Puerto Rico, everyone in all of these islands, they are all American. You're not going to go over to another country and say, oh, where you from? I'm a U.S. citizen. You're not going to say that. You're going to say you're American. I'm from the Americas, United States of. All right, peace. What's up? It is May 11th, and it is, according to the Gregorian calendar, today is the celebration of all mothers. So happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there. Hope you are enjoying your day and people are giving you honor. Rightfully so. Because to be a mother is a very important job. It's a lot of details that go with bringing a life into the world, bringing a soul, a being, carrying a being in your womb for 9-10 months is a job. It's an honorable job, although this current system doesn't respect that like it should. Like when you go to the hospital, how they disrespect mothers and the things that they do, put them through in the process of bringing a soul into this world. I want y'all to understand something. And it might be something you haven't considered because you've been programmed to see these establishments as places of refuge, as places of support, places of they went to school and got education and they know better and you don't. So you need to trust us. Come to my hospital and deliver this child in this environment. Come on in. You know, everything's by contract. And when you really look at the deepness of childbirth, that whole process, that's a spiritual, divine calling. It's like a rite of passage for women to a large degree, to bring a life in, right? And the way the establishments got it rigged, it really disrespects that process. I want y'all to understand that. That really disrespects that process and does not show honor to the process and the ritual of giving birth. I know some of us already had children. I had all my children was in those slaughterhouses. That's what I call it now. That's what it is. If you watched the movie Sinners, they had a slaughterhouse. They was having this party and stuff like that. And, you know, I compare it to that. Especially when it comes to people of color. You're their guinea pig when you go into there. They're going to experiment with you. They're going to do things to you that you don't. That's why they have you sign up. Have you really read that contract you signed before they treat you? Have you really read that? That contract is basically saying if we kill your ass, you can't sue us. If we do anything that's part of our what we call teachings, you can't sue us. But because we have been programmed to look at these places as places of where we can go to and rely on them to bring in our divine beings into this world, this is why we're suffering. Because we have integrated into a system that is designed to destroy us on all levels. Like I read the dictionary word natives. None of these other people are natives to this land. You are. That definition said copper-colored races. We all know what copper looks like. So that means that they know that all other people come from that group of people. And then there was a deliberate mission to lighten up the races. So they brought in the Neanderthals who had been upgraded to lighten up the races. Let's make no mistake. If you're a person of color, I don't care what degree it is, that white power structure hates you. See, one thing about the art of war is you must know your enemy. You must know who is after you. They're not doing it so much by the gun, and they're doing it through paperwork now, through your consent. If you haven't realized spiritually that placing yourself correctly under your ancestors' nationality, you haven't come to that conclusion, then you've been sleeping. It is time. And playing all of these games with, well, I'm going to get this benefit out of this from this system that's, you can see is collapsing right around you. It's not going to, no system that man has created has lasted more than 1,000 years. Do your research. No system that man has created has lasted more than 1,000 years. And it was your ancestors who put that decree out. The God of your ancestors said that. Although in the Bible, they created their own version of God and gave him this white personification as a sign of purity. But let me explain something about purity and why that term is looked at in an improper way. Darkness is what is the results of all colors, all spectrums of color. That's how you get the color black, right? So then that means white is not pure because it's missing all of the other elements.
to give that color. That means it's deficient. It's not pure. See, they gave you to look at somebody's skin, oh, they're better because they have that color. No, they're not. That is a genetic deficient strand as a result of scientific manipulation and to remove things. But according to Sophia, everybody's coming back to the source. Everyone is coming back to the source. That reminds me of the movie Matrix. Where did Neo go to get advice? The Oracle. There was a feminine aspect in that Matrix, and there was a masculine aspect. And the masculine aspect was a white man, an old white man. In the feminine aspect, the Oracle, who was in direct opposition to him, was a black woman, a woman of color. They were showing you who the true power was in there. But everything was about choices. Which door you're going to take? What key you're going to use? But at the same time, you need both those energies together to bring balance. Everything's about balance. Bring a true extreme of either one of them. One is going to bring chaos and one is going to bring destruction. You have to have them together to complete that cycle, the Trinity. Mother, father, child. So, just to reiterate, the more and more I contemplate and meditate on these things, I see how dealing with any of these governmental structures and participating in anything that they got going on is a disrespect to your ancestral connection. And this is why we lose. It works for them because it was designed for them. But it wasn't for us. We had our own system, spiritual connections to the planet, spiritual connections to the whole universe. Do y'all realize that your ancestors are the architectures of this whole universe? And these ones that have semi-control, which when I call it semi, because the only control is based on the manipulation of your mind. Without that, there is no control. They put the gods to sleep. You're asleep. It's time to wake up and be the gods that you are. You come from gods, so do you. Therefore, you are a god. I know that does not go well of you who have this holy and thou look on yourself and Jesus is everything and he's coming to do something. I mean, although time has shown that Jesus hasn't come to do a thing because people are being killed, hung, children. You know, if Christ was so much coming back to fix anything, at the least he could protect the children who can't really defend themselves. At the least, like little girl gets molested, kids get molested, children being snatched off the street and then put into human trafficking rings. This is a real problem. But where's Jesus? I tell you the answer. The answer is simple. This is what you do if you want to see the answer. Go find a mirror in your house and look in it. There, you're the answer. See, what we have done, we have, again, placed our trust in these governmental structures to protect our children. We are the ones supposed to be taking heads for anyone that come and cause harm on our children. Y'all saw that guy who ran over that cop and he's, you know, I feel him. I feel him. You know, You know, they put him in jail without bail. But I feel him. I understand what he's talking about. But see, y'all think that's the end of it all? No, it's not. That's the ancestors waking people up and showing. That's the first. That right there is the starting point of things that's about to change. Think about the psychological effect that has on someone who knows the story, sees the story, and the snowball effect. And of course, they're going to try to do everything they can to shut that down, but it's too late. The cat's out the bag. The cat's out the bag. It's about to go. You sit back and watch. It's a lot more there, but as Sophia says, don't go, not yet. Don't say it now. And remember, these structures are designed to destroy you, not help you. It's for the support and the maintaining the power structure that's currently in place, which it does not work without your support. That brings me to my announcement. May 24th, I'll be in New York discussing your constitutionally protected rights regarding birth, marriage, and a whole plethora of other things. And I'm going to have a special guest who's going to speak there, and they're going to talk about how to protect those divine pregnancies. So, y'all know when I do seminars, I always like to open up my seminars with the female energy. Because why? Because the female energy is what gives birth to everything. It's only appropriate. So there you have it. So the topic of this subject was the God of time. And I'm going to talk about this God of time, how it relates to how your time has been hijacked here. That you're working under a spell, a ritual, when it comes to time. So, but first, let's see what this God of time is. It's called Chronos. Chronos, the personification of time. Chronos spelled Chronos. Sometimes we confuse it with Kronos, Kronos. Those are two different gods. Kronos, Kronos, is the Titan father of Zeus. Whereas Kronos is a primordial personification of time in ancient Greek mythology and philosophy, especially in Orphic and esoteric traditions. Unlike Kronos, the Titan father of Zeus, Kronos symbolizes abstract, eternal, and unbounded time. He is often depicted as serpent-like, sometimes entwined with an anarchy, which means necessity, to show the inevitability of fate in time. In Orphic tradition, Kronos existed from the beginning of existence. He generated ether, spelled Aether. I think that's the original spelling of ether. Chaos, and a cosmic egg from which Phanes, also called Protagonos, the firstborn god, emerged. Phanes was the creator of the cosmos. Thus, Kronos played a central role in the formation of the universe. See, now you got to understand these gods are Greek gods, and these are the gods that what do I want to say? The masculine energy created to overlap and cover up the feminine, the matriarch. What I wanted to say was patriarch. The patriarch of the time wanted to dominate the matriarch. So they created these gods that overlapped, and this is what they teach in all of the colleges. so that you never know about that feminine aspect of God. That's the whole purpose. So I'm only talking about Chronos because Chronos, to realize the spell that's on your mind. Chronos represents linear, inescapable time and is the metaphysical backdrop of all events. Philosophers such as Stoics and Neoplatonists refer to Chronos in discussions of fate, determinism, and the structure of reality. In Western iconography, Chronos evolved from the father time figure, often depicted with a Seath, spell Seythe. I know I'm not pronouncing it right. An hourglass. So, why is this important to this discussion? Knowing about this God, because they've been using this God on you as far as you can remember. I remember working for Walmart way back in the day, and the name of Time Warner. When I worked for Time Warner, the name of the timekeeping system was called Chronos. So right there, they're honoring this God by getting you to accept public education, number one. That's why they made it required. If you live in these systems, under these systems, like you got the birth certificate, you got the social, those two entities, those are two separate entities, although they're used in unison, are the entities that the state has control over to force it into compulsory education. But because you think your child is the name on the paper and that number is identifying them, you took your divine child and connected it to their system of time. One of their systems. It's many rituals going at the same time, but we're just talking about time. Because what do? What's the time of birth? What's the date and time of birth? Then they develop a document from that, which they place into another ritualistic system. And that other system is the system of the ritual of finance, securities. And to be more specific and to really show you, the system of bond or bond age. BOND space AGE. Bond age. So they bond the child. So they take the system of bond, then they take the age, the child, and put it together. Now you have bondage. Okay? What did I just read here? I read, it said, discussion of fate, determinism, and the structure of reality. There was another thing I wanted to read here. Chronology, the arrangement of events in time, a precise timekeeping device, chronometer, anachronism, something out of the proper time, chronicle, a historical record in time sequence. And anachronism is really what's being played out when it comes to birth, because that means something out of its proper time. So when they take your child, your divine child, and put it into their system, it becomes something out of proper time. And from that something out of proper time, you become bonded in bondage under the God of Chronos, and you're bound by time. So now they created a system for you to go into so that it's all part of this educational system. You, by a certain age, you need to bring that bond into our school system. Now you have bondage. By a certain, which is 6 or 7, by 7, most states, They need to be at least in kindergarten. And then they have to be in school by a certain time. And if they're late, Kronos is going to punish them through its agents called the school system. And if he misses a certain amount of time in that system, CPS is coming to knock him, to take him away in bondage and put him into another system of time. Y'all starting to get the picture? Why you need to leave these things alone? Because it's all prisons. It's all bondage. It's all set up to capture the soul, the spirits of the gods. And we're walking into it willingly. You can only capture a god by its consent. That's the way it works. That is the power of a god. You can only get that god by its consent. That's a law. But we consent. And so there, by our consent, we step down from our true power and become mortal. Something that can be destroyed. But that mortality starts while that child is in the mother's womb. Because why? If she's believing in mortality and her being immortal, not believing in her godship, who she truly is, guess what happens to the child? It's going to inherit that. We are trapped. We have trapped ourselves in an illusion of time. We're timeless beings. We have no boundaries but the ones we set in our mind. Reverend Ike said it, and I always repeat it. You will never get any further than the ideas in your mind. I've said this some time ago, long time ago. I spoke on death. The reason why we die mostly is because we believe everybody dies. So what if everybody just decided we don't die? We live forever. We're immortal. What if we had that belief? But see, you've been living through the restructuring of the scriptures and the holy words that your ancestors left for you. You've been told that you have a time limit. See, the God that they created for you said you only going to live to a certain age. And because they know the power of the gods and his imagination and her imagination, that they create their reality through what they believe and what they accept and what they contract with, we grow old and we die. In order even to get to where you can accept or understand the words that I'm speaking, you have to pierce the veil. You have to break the veil of time. You have to see what time really is. It's a bondage structure that was to keep you trapped. When people are trapped all day looking at time. Oh man, it's time. I got to go do this at this time. I got to be here this time. I got to go to work at this time. My break is coming up. Your whole day is spent looking at the clock, worshiping Kronos, a false god. Worshiping a constructed God for the simple fact of keeping you trapped and your eye on that instead of who you truly are. You see it every day. I used to be part of it. You know, oh man, Friday come, I'm happy. I could go party, go out to the club. So before I had children, go to the club. Hey, we're going to go to the club Friday, Saturday, Man, then all you dreading is that Monday coming. You got to go back to work and do it all over again. Then on Monday, I'm thinking about Friday. And then when it comes to your compensation for that job, you can't wait till the time that they pay you. You see the trap? But if you had control, if you was a god of your universe, time wouldn't bother you. It wouldn't affect you because you do things at the beat of your drum. You make money when you're ready to make money. You can literally sit at your computer or whatever and decide to have money show up in your hand wherever, just on a thought. That's real. That's reality. That's true reality. See, they created an alternate reality saying you got to wait for this money. You got to wait to it. You do all of these things structures that they set up for your money. And this why you are in this perpetual cycle of anticipation. Gods don't anticipate. Gods know whatever they see or visualize is going to go forth. You don't have to anticipate anything. Hey, I'm going to be a billionaire. I'm a billionaire. Okay, done. I know that's hard to say it, right? It's hard to really hold on to that because you got so much opposition to that drags you in the direction of seeing yourself without these things. Then you have people in your life. You're in relationships that's not good for you. You're connected and attached to ideas of what you think stuff should be like. Let's keep it real. Most of us have a dysfunctional view on life, and we don't even know it, half of how dysfunctional we're seeing things until it's brought to our attention, until we really go within and see ourselves for who we really are. Because a lot of times we walk around here lying to ourselves. See, in order to correct something, you got to see where am I right now? What is it right now that I'm doing that's bringing me all that I have right now? And then you decide, well, I don't like this. I don't like, okay, let me change what brought that to me. What's the idea? Every idea, every thought that you have or had is why you're where you are right now. Money tight? That's on you. Not enough money flow? That's on you. You're the one stopping your money flow. You're the bottleneck to your wallet. You're the problem. Not the job that's not paying you enough. Not these other things. You're the problem. I'm the problem if I'm not having my money flow. If I don't have my abundance, I'm the problem. There's no other issue. There's no other issue outside of me that's causing issues for me. See, the issues outside of you is what the manifestation of the thoughts that you have that's brought that to you. And it's only brought that to you to bring to your attention how dysfunctional you're really thinking. It's not the other person. It's not the baby mama. It's not the baby daddy. It's not the priest. It's not the teacher. It's you. God. That's how powerful you are. You can give yourself your greatest good or your greatest bad. But everything you're giving yourself is a lesson. It's teaching you how well you're interacting and manifesting in this realm. Man, I manifest a negative bank account. Oh, wow. Man, what do I got to do that? And they give us little hints, like even in video games, you get it wrong, you start all over. Boom, boom, boom. You go back until you master it. And that's really what you're here to do, to master your own self. You're not here to master everybody else and tell them how they need to do something. You really need here to master you. The only job you have is working on yourself. Even if you have kids, your job ain't. You can help guide your children, but remember what I just said. We have this. We think some of our thoughts are functional when they're very dysfunctional. Why? Because we've been tainted. Sometimes the best thing you can do with your children is just let them flow. Sometimes you gotta guide them a little bit properly. So when you see the reality of how your time has been hijacked, or if you've allowed them to hijack your time by the social constructs and belief systems that they gave you and you chose to believe in them, and because you believed in them, you're stuck in this ever-ending cycle of having to meet the expectations of that particular time. Instead of really focusing on your true divinity. Because if you had your true divinity intact, money is going to flow with you, right? Because all of that comes with wisdom. Money is going to flow. Put forth the kingdom of heaven first, and all these things shall be added to you. What did that mean? Put forth the upliftment of your thoughts and your mind and your consciousness first, that heaven. Then all of these things will be added to you. But you have to lose some things to get there. Lose all of those things that's not serving you. And that means people, places, things, bad habits. All right, remember, May 24th, I'll be in New York. Where is that flyer? Maybe I can find the flyer. I'll show you guys. I sent the email out the other day too, so if y'all saw the email. Okay. Well, it's a weird May, right? Okay, let's see. There, I think this is it. Let's see. No, not that one. I got so many versions of this flyer. That date is wrong. That date is wrong. Let's see this one. Why is it giving me the flyer that's all of the wrong ones? No, the correct one is there. Nope. I'm going to use this one as a, let's see if I can share the screen. It's not the one I wanted to show you, but where's my preview? I think that's it right there. That should be it. There's the flyer. 10 a.m. to 5, May 24th. There's the address for everybody. It's not the exact flyer that I wanted to use, but the one that has all the same information on it. All right, y'all, I'm out of here. I got things to do. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to everyone. Y'all have a good and safe Mother's Day. Enjoy it. Treat your mothers with respect. Also, Father's Day too. You treat the fathers the same way. All right, peace. I'm out.
Stop participating in your own problem. When you see the problem, how you resolve it is move away from it. When Peter wanted to walk on that water, he saw that storm, he started participating. Oh my God, this is a big storm. And it's bigger than me. He just saw Christ walking on water like it was nothing, like it was a everyday thing. And then he get out there, he start walking, yeah, I'm good. And he look over there and he start thinking the storm's bigger than him and bigger than Christ. And Christ just walked over it. See, he started to participate in his own failure.